Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years,
President Donald Trump addressing the nation tonight, announcing the United States military successfully struck 3 Iranian nuclear sites, joining Israel's effort to cripple the country's nuclear program. This is the late edition of the 10 o'clock news. I'm Dawn Timoney. The president says warplanes struck these key nuclear sites and are now safely outside of Iranian airspace. Here's what we know so far. The action by President Donald Trump comes after more than a week of strikes between Israel and Iran. That conflict starting when Israel attacked Iran in what it calls an effort to systematically eradicate Iran's air defenses and offensive missile capabilities while damaging its nuclear enrichment facilities. President Trump says stealth bombers were used, but did not specify what types of bombs were dropped. Iran's foreign minister warning before the U.S. attack, American military involvement would be, quote, very, very dangerous for everyone. Fox's Trey Yingst has more tonight.
Good evening. This has been the talk of Israel for the past several days as the country waited to see if the Americans would get directly involved in the conflict. And even up in the last few hours, I was talking with current and former sources, trying to get an understanding of when this might happen. And at 1:55 local time, one source said rumors, Trump gave the word, supposed to be happening now. We were working on tracking it down, and the president taking to Truth Social to say the Americans did indeed strike 3 separate Iranian nuclear facilities, including the Fordow nuclear facility deep underground outside of the Iranian capital of Tehran. The bottom line here is that people are talking about enrichment. They understand that this decision was made because the Iranians were increasing their uranium enrichment capabilities and increasing the purity closer and closer to weapons-grade material. And the concern was that the Iranian regime was just weeks away from being able to build a nuclear bomb. We've seen over the past 9 days, the country has the ability to strike major population centers here in Israel with ballistic missiles. So you can imagine that having a nuclear warhead that could ultimately be attached to a ballistic missile would clearly be a direct threat to the Jewish state. And that was why the Israelis said that they made the decision to start these strikes against Iranian nuclear facilities and against top IRGC officials. And clearly tonight, President Trump ordering these strikes against the Iranian regime's nuclear program because there was no off-ramp for diplomacy at this point. And so this is a historic moment in the Middle East tonight, and again, an opportunity for the region, as the president laid out in his statement, for peace in the future, because this is a region that understands peace through strength.